Okay, so we're just going to continue by going into our drum clip, and I'm going to put in a snare sample on snare 1 and 2 on the second and fourth beats. And then I'm just going to also turn off our adaptive grid, and I'm going to move the first snare just slightly early. And then if we go in, I'm just going to go to snare 1, and I'm going to go across. I'm going to bring the decay time of this back. So I'm going to bring the sustain back to minus infinity. So if we just solo this, I'll mute the second snare. And what I'm going to do is just drop a compressor onto that snare. Turn the makeup gain off. Just want to really squash it. And then it's going to pan this one slightly to the right. And then if we go to snare number 2, I'm going to do something very similar. We're going to bring the sustain back and then the decay just to make it a bit snappier. And we'll pan this one off to the left. Let's bring the decay of this one back a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to bring the volume of snare number 1 just up a bit, and snare number 2, we're going to bring it down. Now if we program in our percussion loop, it's this one here. It's going to go back in to our MIDI clip. It's going to turn our grid back on again. We're just going to have the percussion hitting in between every kick drum there. Well, in between the first and second, and in between the third and fourth kick drums. I'm just going to pitch this down. So if we go into the percussion loop, just to give it more bottom end, if we just bring the pitch of this whole sample down. And bring the sustain back and turn the decay up. We can control the end of that sample then. And then I'll just pan that off to the right. And then it's going to bring the volume of that whole sample back. Set that to about minus 14. And now if we go to the bass drum fall part, and we can sequence this in as well. So bass drum fall, if we just turn our monitor on, it's this one. So these two are going to play beside each other the same notes, so we can program them in at the same time. I'm going to turn the grid off for this one. And just move these around till you find somewhere that sounds nice. tom number 1. Just going to put them in between all of this. I'm just going to go in and edit some of these values now. So if we go to tom number 1 here, I'm just going to bring the volume of it down just so it's not hitting just as hard. And I'm going to pan it off to the left. And I'm going to just increase the attack on this ever so slightly, just to remove the initial hit from it. And I'm going to turn the high pass filter on, just to remove any low end that might be sort of playing, making the kick drums or the bass line a bit muddy whenever you bring them in. So the last thing I'm going to do is just bring back the sustain just to make it a bit clickier. And now if we go to tom number 2, I'm just going to increase the decay time of that, and I'm going to bring the sustain back. And then with the volume, I'm just going to bring it back ever so slightly on tom number 2. And then if we go to the bass drum fall, which is that main big subby bassy one, I'm just going to bring the decay time back and bring the sustain back as well, just to shorten that sound down. And then I'm just going to pan it off to the right. And then it's going to bring the volume back slightly as well. So just -6 on that one there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is introduce some swing into the actual drum loop that we've got programmed in now. So if we go up to the top left, it's actually the groove template you want to apply now. So if you just go to one of your file browsers and go to your library, just by clicking the top here and go to a groove folder, and then we're going to just go into go to a different one here actually. We'll go to the MPC folder, and if we go to swing 16, and we're going to grab the swing 16 number 60. And if you just drag that and drop it onto that drum rhythm, notice now we've got a nice shuffle to the song. You can turn this on and off by double clicking this clip and going down to the bottom left here. We've got the groove. You can go down and select none, or you can turn it on. Okay, so we're going to save this now, and in the next tutorial we're going to have a look at doing some EQ and compression to the drums.